Have you ever stood in your kitchen staring at a piece of meat, wondering if that single bite could quietly push your kidneys closer to failure? If you're living with kidney disease, that fear is not irrational, because every day I see patients whose creatinine rises not from what they don't eat, but from what they eat thinking it's safe. I'm Dr. Mark Ellis, and here's the urgent truth. Most people are never told the wrong protein can silently accelerate kidney damage strain. Your heart, weaken your bones, and move you one step closer to dialysis without any warning signs at all. But here's the part that should stop you from clicking away. Avoiding meat entirely is often just as dangerous, leading to muscle loss, low albumin infections, and rapid decline. In this video, I'm going to show you 3 specific meats that don't just avoid harming your kidneys, but can actively help stabilize creatinine, protect your labs, and restore strength when chosen and prepared the right way. Because when your kidneys are vulnerable, food isn't just fuel anymore. It's a decision that can quietly change the direction of your life. When I talk about kidney-safe meats, the first option I always introduce is fresh white fish. Not because it sounds impressive, but because it quietly does something most proteins fail to do. It nourishes the body without demanding too much from weakened kidneys. For someone living with CKD, that balance is everything. You're not just eating to feel full anymore. You're eating to survive, to stabilize labs, and to slow damage that often progresses silently. I remember a patient in his early 60s who came to me exhausted, frustrated, and scared. His creatinine kept creeping up, his albumin was dropping, and he had been told to just avoid meat. So he did, for months. And instead of improving, he lost muscle-caught infections easily and felt weaker every week. When we reintroduced fresh white fish carefully, intentionally, his labs didn't spike. His energy came back, and for the first time in a long while, he felt like his body was finally working with him, not against him. Here's why that happens. A 3-ounce serving of fresh white fish like cod, haddock, tilapia, or sole provides roughly 19 to 22 grams of high biological value protein. That means your body can actually use it to rebuild tissue, maintain immune function, and support albumin instead of turning it into excess nitrogen waste that your kidneys must struggle to clear. For CKD patients who are already fighting muscle loss, low albumin, or frequent illness, this quality of protein matters more than sheer quantity. What makes white fish especially protective is not just what it gives you, but what it doesn't. Its phosphorus content is relatively low, usually around 150 to 200 milligrams per serving, and importantly, it's organic phosphorus. That distinction is critical. Organic phosphorus is absorbed far less aggressively than the inorganic phosphates hidden in processed meats, deli slices, or frozen foods. Those additives quietly raise blood phosphorus, weaken bones, harden arteries, and intensify itching and fatigue even when calories seem controlled. Potassium is another hidden danger for kidney patients, and this is where many people get misled. A 3-ounce portion of white fish typically contains only about 200 to 250 milligrams of potassium. That puts it well within a safe range for most CKD patients, even those who are potassium sensitive. Compared to many plant-based proteins that quietly carry high potassium loads, white fish offers reassurance. You're feeding your body without triggering alarms in your labs. Then there's fat, or rather the lack of it. White fish contains less than 1 gram of saturated fat per serving. For someone with kidney disease, this is not a small detail. CKD already increases cardiovascular risk, stiffens blood vessels, and strains the heart. Adding high-fat meats only accelerates that process. White fish delivers clean protein without inflammation, without cholesterol overload, and without worsening blood pressure or fluid retention. Even though it's not as rich in omega-3s as salmon whitefish, still provides modest amounts of EPA and DHA. For patients dealing with brain fog, neuropathy, or chronic fatigue, these gentle anti-inflammatory fats support circulation and nerve health without adding metabolic stress. White fish is also low in purines, making it less likely to worsen uric acid levels or trigger gout, a painful complication that becomes more common as kidney function declines. Micronutrients matter too. 1 serving of white fish supplies vitamin B12 to support nerve function and prevent anemia, selenium to protect kidney cells from oxidative stress, and niacin to help maintain healthy blood vessels. These nutrients are easy to digest and don't burden the kidneys, which is exactly what fragile systems need. But portion control remains essential. Eating white fish every day in large amounts can still overload protein intake and raise nitrogen waste. For most kidney patients, 3 to 4 ounces, 2 to 3 times per week, is a safe and effective range. And preparation matters just as much as selection. Breaded, pre-marinated, or frozen fish often hide sodium and phosphate additives that undo all the benefits. Simple cooking, baking, steaming, parchment roasting, with herbs, lemon, garlic, and olive oil, keeps this protein truly kidney-friendly. And yet, as powerful as fresh white fish is, understanding this alone isn't enough. Because protein safety doesn't end with what's light and gentle, sometimes the real danger lies in foods that look familiar, feel comforting, and are eaten far more often than they should be, which is exactly where the next option comes in. And most people are shocked when they realize how easily it can either protect their kidneys or quietly push them closer to dialysis. If whitefish represents gentleness and recovery, then skinless chicken breast represents stability, the kind of quiet strength kidney patients desperately need but rarely get taught how to build. After helping patients regain trust in protein with whitefish, this is often the next step I introduce because unlike many meats that look harmless but cause lab chaos, skinless chicken breast can either protect your kidneys or harm them depending entirely on how it's chosen, portioned, and prepared. I think of a woman in her late 50s who told me, "Dr. Chicken is all I eat, but my creatinine keeps rising." And when we look closer, the problem wasn't chicken itself, it was oversized portions, daily intake, and store-bought marinades loaded with hidden phosphate additives. Once we corrected those details, something remarkable happened. Her albumin improved, her swelling decreased, and for the first time in months, her labs stopped spiraling. That's the difference between eating a food blindly and eating it with intention. From a scientific standpoint, skinless chicken breast is one of the most efficient proteins available for people with kidney disease. A 3-ounce serving delivers about 26 grams of high biological value protein, meaning nearly every gram is absorbed and used for muscle repair, immune defense, and albumin production. For CKD patients facing protein energy, wasting, a condition strongly linked to hospitalization and early mortality, this quality of protein is not optional, it's protective. What makes chicken breast stand out even more is its fat profile. With less than 1 gram of saturated fat per serving, it supports cardiovascular health rather than undermining it. This matters deeply because heart disease remains the leading cause of death in kidney patients. High-fat meats stiffen arteries, worsen blood pressure, and increase fluid overload. Skinless chicken breast does the opposite. It fuels strength without adding inflammatory baggage. Phosphorus is where many people get misled, and this is critical. Skinless chicken breast contains roughly 180 to 200 milligrams of phosphorus per 3-ounce serving, and importantly, it's organic phosphorus. Unlike inorganic phosphates added to deli meats, nuggets, or pre-seasoned chicken, organic phosphorus is absorbed at a much lower rate. This protects bones, reduces vascular calcification, and helps control parathyroid hormone levels, all major concerns as kidney disease progresses. Potassium content also stays within a manageable range, typically around 220 to 250 milligrams per serving. For patients with potassium sensitivity or history of hyperkalemia, this makes chicken breast far safer than many plant-based proteins that quietly spike potassium levels. And because chicken breast is naturally low in purines, it's less likely to worsen uric acid buildup or trigger gout flares, another painful and often overlooked CKD complication. Micronutrients add another layer of benefit. Skinless chicken breast provides vitamin B6 to support nerve health and red blood cell production, niacin for vascular repair, zinc for immune strength and taste perception, selenium for antioxidant defense, and modest amounts of iron that help combat renal anemia when paired with vitamin C-rich foods. These nutrients work together to fight fatigue, brain fog, and weakness symptoms many patients wrongly accept as normal aging. But here's the line that must be drawn clearly. Even clean protein becomes harmful when portions grow too large or frequency creeps too high. For most non-dialysis CKD patients, 3 to 4 ounces per serving 2 to 3 times per week is both safe and effective. Eating large chicken portions daily can raise urea, increase nitrogen waste, worsen metabolic acidosis, and accelerate fatigue and nausea, and preparation can undo everything. Prepackaged marinade seasoning blends and sauces often hide sodium phosphate, MSG, and excess salt, a combination that drives fluid retention, itching, and lab instability. The safest approach is simple cooking at home, baking, grilling, gently boiling, or air frying, using lemon garlic herbs, ginger, or olive oil for flavor. When prepared this way, skinless chicken breast becomes a reliable ally rather than a silent threat. But knowing how to handle chicken correctly still isn't the full picture. Because there is another meat that looks just as lean, feels just as familiar, yet carries a completely different metabolic impact. And for many kidney patients, misunderstanding this final option may be the hidden reason their creatinine refuses to come down, which is exactly what we need to talk about next. After learning how whitefish restores balance and how skinless chicken breast builds stability, there's one more protein that often surprises my patients: fresh turkey breast. It doesn't sound exotic, it doesn't feel medical, and that's exactly why it's so often misunderstood. When chosen and prepared correctly, turkey breast can become one of the most protective meats for weakened kidneys. But when eaten the wrong way, it quietly turns into a problem that many people never connect back to their rising creatinine. I once worked with a retired school teacher in his late 60s who believed turkey was automatically safe. He avoided red meat, skipped fish because he didn't like the taste, and relied on turkey almost daily. Turkey sandwiches, turkey slices, turkey healthy deli meat. His labs kept worsening, and he couldn't understand why. The issue wasn't turkey itself, it was the form. Once we removed processed versions and replaced them with fresh, unbrined turkey breast, portioned correctly, his phosphorus stabilized, his swelling eased, and his energy slowly returned. That's when he realized how thin the line is between healing food and harmful food when kidneys are fragile. From a scientific perspective, fresh turkey breast offers a powerful combination of lean strength and metabolic support. A 3-ounce serving provides about 24 to 25 grams of high-quality protein, enough to preserve muscle, maintain albumin, and support immune defense without overwhelming the kidneys. For CKD patients dealing with chronic fatigue or protein energy wasting, this level of protein is not about bulking up, it's about preventing decline. What truly sets turkey breast apart is how clean that protein comes packaged. Its saturated fat content is extremely low, helping reduce cardiovascular strain, a critical factor since heart disease remains the #1 cause of death in kidney patients. Its phosphorus content, roughly 190 to 200 milligrams per serving, is organic, not the aggressively absorbed inorganic phosphate found in processed meats. That difference protects bones, reduces vascular calcification, and helps control parathyroid hormone levels as kidney function declines. Potassium levels in fresh turkey breast sit in the moderate range, around 240 to 260 milligrams per serving. For most CKD patients, this is manageable when portions are respected and paired with low potassium sides like rice, zucchini, or cauliflower. Unlike many foods that cause sudden potassium spikes, turkey's effect is predictable and controllable, something lab-sensitive patients desperately need. Turkey breast also brings a unique micronutrient profile that often gets overlooked. It's rich in vitamin B6 and niacin, which support nerve repair, circulation, and energy metabolism, crucial for patients experiencing tingling brain fog or weakness. Selenium supports antioxidant defenses in kidney tissue, helping reduce oxidative stress and cellular aging. Zinc aids immune function and taste perception, which often declines in CKD. And with about 1 milligram of iron per serving, turkey can support red blood cell production when combined with vitamin C-rich foods, easing renal anemia and the exhaustion that comes with it. But here's where many people unknowingly cross into danger. Turkey becomes harmful the moment it's processed. Smoked turkey, deli turkey, pre-seasoned turkey, or oven-roasted slices often contain sodium phosphate, potassium lactate, and hidden sugars. These additives silently raise blood pressure, worsen fluid retention, intensify itching, and accelerate bone and vascular damage, even when the label looks healthy. Cooking method matters too. High heat frying or charring creates inflammatory compounds that stress blood vessels and kidneys already under strain. The safest approach is simple and intentional. Fresh raw turkey breast only cooked gently by baking, slow roasting, or light sautéing with olive oil, garlic, herbs, and lemon. For most non-dialysis patients, 3 to 4 ounces per serving 2 to 3 times per week is enough to gain benefits without overload. Dialysis patients may need more protein overall, but even then portion distribution matters. And this brings us to the most important realization of all. Even the best meats in the world can't protect your kidneys if you ignore one final factor. A factor most people never associate with food at all, yet it can quietly determine whether your kidneys stabilize or continue sliding toward dialysis, which is exactly what we need to address next. If there's one thing I want you to take away from this video, it's this: living with kidney disease does not mean giving up strength, dignity, or the joy of eating well. I know how overwhelming it can feel when every meal seems like a risk, when lab numbers create fear, and when advice from different sources feels confusing or even contradictory. You are not failing your kidneys. You are learning how to care for them more wisely, one choice at a time, and that effort truly matters. If this information helped you understand your body a little better, I encourage you to save this video so you can come back to it whenever you feel unsure about your food choices. And if you want clear, science-based medical guidance explained in a calm, human way, please subscribe to this channel. Every week I share the latest insights to help protect your kidneys, lower creatinine safely, and support your overall health without unnecessary fear. Most importantly, remember this kidney decline is not always a straight line downward. With the right knowledge, the right habits, and consistent care, many people stabilize their condition and regain confidence in their daily lives. You still have influence over your health, your future, and your quality of life. Stay curious, stay hopeful, and stay committed, because even small decisions made consistently can help your kidneys carry you forward longer than you ever thought possible.